Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
My bite's not close to my bark, buddy. And slid down so we can see a red suitcase right here for law enforcement. If they're watching and you guys would like to come back here. For being out here. So this is what we're doing today. We will see you guys back here real soon.
Do you know how many people say things like, they make me so angry? What do I hear? I have given my power and my emotional state over to someone else. They make me so angry? That would imply you don't have a choice in the matter. When you emotionally mature, you choose how to move your energy, which does not mean you're not without emotion, and it does not mean that you do not experience different kinds of emotion. What it means is You take responsibility and control for how that gets expressed and what you do with it.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
My beautiful people of YouTube. I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday so far. We're kicking it off a little later in the day because I have a lot of stuff, new stuff that I'm looking into and new stuff that I wanted to bring to you this morning on new cases that I thought that are interesting and I think that you guys could help with. And so we're going to be talking about those in just a little bit. But before we get started, we always try to give our first morning part off to Jennifer Santanello. Jennifer Santanello is a 21-year-old girl that went missing at 20 years old from Kingsport, Tennessee. She went missing on June 27th, 2023. The last anybody that we've located has seen her, it was around the 12 to 1 p.m. on the 27th. There is a lot of time that is missing in her timeline, primarily from about 8 a.m. to noon, 4 hours there. And then from 1 on, we have no timeline for Layla Santanello. She has been missing for quite some time. We're at the end of March. It's been over 90 days. It feels like something terrible has happened to her. Jennifer Santanello has been able, by the gracious people for crowdfunding, which we've been a part of, she was able to get a PI, a retainer, put a retainer on a PI. So the PI still has ongoing costs, and we have the reward fund that we are trying to build up. So if you guys would like to help, there is a GoFundMe and there is a Cash App for direct funds to Jennifer to help her out. But before we get started, I just want to hand this over to Layla Santanello. You guys know this is a passion item of mine. This is a job that has been very rough. This family has endured a lot because of unprofessional people involved. And I just feel really, really bad for Jennifer and her family. And we're going to continue our search efforts out there in Kingsport, Tennessee. This case is not getting as much attention as it once did. It's not getting any leads like it once did. So we really need to have all hands on deck. And we're praying that more creators will help this family. You know, can't force them. I realize it's not a bestseller and not, a major case that is going to probably bring in thousands of views, but we still need your help. If people are here to help and they say it's not about the clicks and views, then help with this case. That's my message. And I'm going to ask the people in our audience to please, make sure that you're talking about her in these chat rooms. I'm asking you, please. The family needs help. The family needs help. So before we get started, I wanted to kind of give you guys some updates on the case.
You're still here?
After Layla vanished, her mom, Jennifer, received Cash App notifications from someone logged into her account. $95 or you'll find her in pieces. She kept receiving threats from Cash App, one after the other. Who was logged into Layla's Cash App, and why were they claiming that they had her hostage? Layla is 21 years old, and she has a 2-year-old daughter named Nova. Layla's mom, Jennifer, is taking care of Nova. A complete mystery. It's been 3 months, and Layla is still missing. The events that happened 24 hours before her disappearance are haunting. Jennifer shows me the last place her daughter was last seen, at the Marble Slab Creamery. An employee tells us that Layla came running from the back of the creamery with no shoes, no phone, and she wanted to log into the employee's phone to contact someone. She was running away from someone. She was horrified and scared. Then she told the employee that she was going to go to Five Below to buy a pair of sandals, but authorities say that she never made it to the Five Below. Did something happen in this parking lot? Did someone pick her up? This is the location of the Marble Slab Creamery. There are no security cameras in the entire parking lot. Just behind the Eaststone Commons is the AmeriCourt Hotel. On the day she disappeared, multiple families saw Layla. She had a look of horror on her face, and she was running away from someone. I speak with a woman who tried to help Layla, but she would not speak. She hung around the hotel for about 3 hours, hiding, peering around the corners. This is the AmeriCourt Hotel, and in this field, we speak with a man who saw Layla the morning of the 27th.
And she was parting the grass as she walked like she was looking for something.
What was she looking for in this field? Who took her shoes and her phone? 2 days before she disappeared, her boyfriend, Michael, was logged into her Facebook and messaged Layla's mom. He said, "Do you know if Layla is in jail?" Jennifer was frantic, but then Layla logged back into her account and said, "I'm fine, Mom. I've been with a friend." That was the last time Layla was logged into her account. The day she vanished, her boyfriend logged back into her Facebook and sent Jennifer this message. Who was logged into her Cash App? Why were they holding her hostage? It's been 3 months. Who would do such a thing? Jennifer has been searching relentlessly for her daughter. She has not given up hope, and never will.
My daughter doesn't have a voice right now, and that as her mother, it's my job. Out of closure, we don't find her, we don't find out what happened, and she turns 5 and starts asking the questions that I can't answer.
Help Layla's mom get a private investigator. Join the search for Layla. Click the link in my bio to donate.
So there you guys go. That is Layla Santanello. Again, we are working very, very hard to bring awareness to her case. We're letting a little more information out about the case because the leads are drying up. And we want people to understand there's more going on behind the scenes than many people understand, okay? This is a serious situation. This is not a girl that just went out and got high and just doesn't feel like coming home. Something seriously happened to this young girl, and somebody knows something in Kingsport, and we need to find that information. So I'm going to ask everybody, stop the pettiness. You got $20,000 to blow away on bull crap. Start helping some families, please. They need your help. take those resources and apply to help continue this PI's his work, and also to help raise funds for Layla, for her reward fund, so we can try to get somebody to be moved by the amount of money in the reward fund, that they are willing to come forward and tell somebody something. This young lady, something terrible has happened to her, folks, and I don't know how to express that in the right way, but she needs our help, and we need to locate her. And this is why I'm out there searching for her. Every few weeks, we're out there searching for this young lady because we know something terrible happened and we need to find her. So I hope you guys, we're doing the Dollar Will Do campaign. We understand that the economy is not what it should be for a lot of people. We're rounding to the point of Christmas. I just want to let you know that Jennifer Santanello no longer has a job, and she still has children she has to take care of. And over and above that, Christmas is coming around. And guess what? Children don't understand that. They still expect something. So, we need to wrap our love and our arms around this family as tight as we can and help uplift them and help them. So here's a little bit more that I think you guys need to know about this case. Just a second.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Santanello, and this is my beautiful daughter, Layla. Layla has been missing since June 27th of 2023. She was last seen at the Marble Slab Creamery in East Stone Commons on Eastman Road in Kingsport, Tennessee. On June 24th, Layla's boyfriend messaged me and asked if I know if my daughter was in jail. I asked him these questions. I was very confused. I called all the jails. Because Layla's boyfriend was using her account to message me, Layla was able to see that. When she logged in later that night and saw that I was confused and worried, she reached out to me. These are the last messages I have received from my daughter. The following Monday, her boyfriend reached out again. I had spoken to my daughter a little over 24 hours prior and was waiting for a phone call from her. I had imagined that they had had some type of argument that she didn't want to discuss over text because he had access to this account, as you can see. So I was waiting for the phone call so she could explain to me what was going on. I didn't want to help him find her. I felt I was being manipulated into doing so. And quite honestly, I felt relieved because this relationship wasn't a healthy one. In the early morning hours of June 27th, Layla's father called Kingsport Police Department and reported her missing. Some of these details were actually incorrect initially because he hadn't seen her recently and didn't know that she had lost weight and changed her hair color. They had to be corrected later. It's been 3 months since the last time I had any contact with my firstborn child. My heart hurts, my head hurts, and I'm here today to ask for your support, to ask you all to share and keep sharing and spread her face and spread her story as far and as wide as we can. There are still so many people just here in town that haven't heard of her, that haven't heard that she's disappeared, that don't know she's missing 3 months later. This is the first of several timeline videos I plan on releasing. I hope everyone follows along. Hi, my name is Jennifer Santanello.
All right, guys. So there is our advocacy for Jennifer and Layla Santanello. Layla Santanello, again, is the missing 21-year-old girl. There is a lot going on behind the scenes. I see that we have some people from other channels that don't necessarily like me in here. So hopefully maybe you guys can take the directive of maybe not bashing me for a day and maybe promoting Layla's case, you know, since you guys proclaim to be true crime, maybe that would be beneficial and helpful, not only to your channel, but to this case. So hopefully that does start happening, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, the family just needs help. They just need people to, you know, pass her information around, keep her focus, you know, front and center. This is something that social media could get right if they chose to. And I hope that they start coming along and getting on board with this particular case, because I understand that this girl is not a pristine, perfect, you know, person like many of us that come here. And many of us in this chat room have been affected. We talked about it the other day, affected by drugs, by substance abuse, whether it's our own story or, you know, a family of ours, but we've all been affected by it. So we know it's not a parenting problem. We know it's a personal problem. If we all have been affected by something like this, and we know that their voice is being silenced even more because they're not the pristine, perfect image of a missing person like, say, Gabby Petito, but they still matter. Her life still matters, and something terrible happened to her. And if we can't help somebody in a family like that, then why are we here? Mainstream media picks up the perfect people, right? They pick up all the people that meet their needs for promoting cases, right? But when we have people that don't have the best history, maybe ran on hard times, maybe have hard problems to deal with, maybe dealing with a lot in their own life we don't understand, nor do we need to. But this case is not being picked up by a lot of media. Not at all. But she's not perfect, right? She's not perfect. We here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, we don't strive for perfection. We're perfectly imperfect. We all have our stories. We all have our strifes. We all had our challenges in our life. This family is having major challenges, and something terrible has happened to their daughter. And if that's not something that will move anybody and everybody on this channel, I don't know what will. They need our help. Mainstream media gets the perfect people. What about the imperfect people like me and you? Should our voice be hindered? Should we not get every opportunity to be found and have our justice? Because I'm telling you, Layla Santanello sounded like me in my 20s. Different drugs, but same thing. Same thing. Running away, doing dirty. I survived. But for the grace of God, there go I. There go you. Right? So what can we do to help? Here's what we can do to help this family. $1 will do. If you have $1, help. If you don't, help. Help if you don't have $1. Pass her name around. Be in these chat rooms talking about her. Let people know that she's still missing. Let people know that there is more to the story than meets the eye. Let people know there's something serious going on here and we can help. And her face needs to get out there, and we need to be hunting for the people that have information. That's what we can do to help. You don't have $1 to give? You have time, right? Give your time. That's what I'm asking. God bless each and every one of you for that. All right, guys. Well, here's something that's really sad that came into the news yesterday. Actually, let me just go through here real quick and just say hi to everybody. I know we kind of started things a little later today. We're kind of on a different, we have a kind of a how we do things around here, right? how do we do things around here? And we're just a little off about what we're doing here. So War Cry, it's nice to see you. God bless you. Shannon, Skittles, Crime Time, it's nice to see you. Net L, Mama Shellbell, it's nice to have you. Tammy Sue, love it. Nice to have you guys. What does this say? Dumb Country Chicken. West Side. It's nice to see you. We'll go ahead and get started on Tupac Shakur because I know a lot of people are here, and the people that are just here for the Tupac Shakur stuff, I don't want to have to, drag you through all the other cases. So we'll probably get started on Tupac Shakur fairly quickly, and then I'll open up the phone lines. We'll talk, and then I've got a bunch of crazy cases, guys. You are going to want to stick around for these because I guarantee no other creators really covering these cases. And they're sick. They're sick and twisted. And it's sick and twisted. I don't know what else to say. Before we get started here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, we always like to give ourselves and our minds, bodies, and souls over to the hand of God every single morning. We deal with enough gunk and crap and stuff with these cases. And then, of course, you put a little bit of bad behavior in it, and you can have a bad day really quickly here on the streets of YouTube. So we always like to refocus ourselves before we get involved in talking about these horrible cases and what despicable acts human beings can do to other human beings. So for September 30th, it is Own Your Power. Many of you guys know that I'm the drumbeat of giving people their voice, giving the people their ability to be outspoken, I'm a proud, problematic woman, right? And I love women. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I just want you motivated. I want you up. I want you doing things. I want you being productive. I want you giving back to your community. I'm just a person that just really, truly believes in the acts of service and giving back. I truly do believe that. And I just feel like doing good makes you feel good inside. And so I always try. And the people that actually decide to come out and check it out and see is it really this rewarding? They find it is. They find how rewarding helping another human being truly can be. So own your power. I was in an airplane on my way up. I was doing a fidgeting thing as usual. Brady Michaels, a stuntman and a skydiver I had come to know and respect, was sitting across the aisle from me. "How are you doing, Melody?" he asked me in a gentle way, like he really wanted to know. "I'm scared," I said. "Do you believe in God?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "Well, then walk to the door, jump, and pull the ripcord." I hate these commercials that just pop up. It really just annoys me. Let me see if I can turn the volume off. I can't say that that's not going to happen again, but hopefully I got the volume. So where was I? She says, "I'm scared." And he says, "Do you believe in God?" She says, "Yes." "Well, then walk to the door, jump, and pull the ripcord when it's time," he said. "And don't forget to have some fun too." Owning our power can be one of the most elusive issues we face in recovery. How much is my part? When do I do it? How much is God's part? Which parts of my life am I responsible for? And which parts are my destiny? You can spend years in therapy talking about feelings, but it isn't the same as releasing your feelings and fears and moving forward in your life. You can go to college and train to do the things that you want to do in life. You can sleep every night and wish with your wish list under your pillow, but that's different from stepping up to the plate and doing it. Whether that means writing a romance novel, starting your own business, learning to bake a cake, or buying an easel and painting a picture. You read all the travel books in the library, but that's different from getting on the plane and taking the trip to the place you've always wanted to go. We can go to millions of 12-step meetings, but that's different from actually working each of the steps. My favorite skydiving instructor, Andy, told me there's 3 things to remember. Gravity always works. The earth won't move out of your way. And God won't pull the ripcord for you. We've surrendered our lives and will to the care of God. Now it's time to learn what it means to align with our own power. God, help me own my power and take care of myself. Help me learn to do the job well, right? It didn't say perfect. Nothing in this book says, hey, do it with perfection. It says well. All that's required from us each and every day is to give 100%. If you give 100% and you fall flat on your face, guess what? You're a freaking success for that day. You're a success that day. What do you mean I'm a success that day? I fell flat on my face. I didn't succeed. Yes, you did. You learned a valuable lesson. Try it again. Apply that lesson. It's time for a do-over. All right. Let's get over here to Tupac Shakur. So the people that are here for Tupac, you guys can get started on your day and go around and do whatever you guys want to do. Many of you know, okay? And I just want to say a blanket hi because we missed roll call. I don't want to call it roll call, but it's roll call. It's roll call, right? It's roll call where I just saw, there it is. So, and here you go. If you guys would like to donate to Jennifer directly for cash directly, there is her Cash App and Venmo accounts. Again, it doesn't really matter how we support, just as long as we're supporting monetarily or with our time. We need to give back to this family. This family's hurting. And, at the end of the day, people that are hurting and don't have a lot of resources, those people like me, people like you, those people that they don't know who they are but come out of the woodworks to help, that's the magic of these cases. It really is. That's the humanity, the wonderful part of humanity, and the side of humanity that I love. The side of humanity I hate is the reason why we're even having to raise money. But the side that I love, what just makes me feel really good about humanity is this: the working together, the showing that a bunch of people that don't know each other can come together for the good. And that's amazing to me. It is. It's just amazing to me. So let's see what we got going on here. Tupac Shakur. Oh, sorry. I did this. We have to do this because I spent some time on this, baby. I put not too much time, but I spent some time on it. So we got to do it, okay? Chill, chick. There has been an arrest made in the Tupac Shakur case. Okay, that took me an hour to do. Yay! Let's see how Betty spends her time and resources, okay? There has been an arrest made in the Tupac Shakur case. I know. We can just decide to dance before we get involved if we want to. Right? So Tupac Shakur, he was, anybody from my generation, okay? I'm sorry. I think this is my generation. I'm sure a lot of younger people know. I mean, his music still lives on. I still hear some stuff. Actually, as a matter of fact, some of the music that he never released was starting to be released several years ago. It was really interesting. So we all know Tupac Shakur was a rapper. This was back in the 90s, and this was kind of a new thing. Rap has always been around, so I'm not trying to say it's been a new thing, but this whole upbringing, this whole East Coast, West Coast thing was a real rival of some really bad dudes. A lot of these people that were in and I'm sorry, you guys are going to be mad at me. I get it. I'm just telling you like it is. But a lot of these people in the rap industry back then, and maybe even some now, were not the best people. They were associated with gangs. They were associated with drugs. They were associated with guns, violence, the whole entire gamut of things that you could imagine. These were thugs that were millionaires running our streets. I love Tupac. So I don't want to hear me. Like I was a Warren G, Too Short. Like nobody even talks about Too Short, right? So don't sit here and say that I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Look, I do. These were my people, okay? I'm sorry, but this is the stuff I listened to when I was this age. And so it really, like even Biggie, it was just it was just the new music. It's like anything else when it's new and it's becoming up and coming. This was kind of this was in the area when they were really trying to restrict, the language. Remember that, where you couldn't say, good Lord, you couldn't even say hell. It was like, sacrilegious, and people were going to be showing up on your doorstep for saying HE double, hockey sticks, right? So it's like, we had all this stuff. So they were pushing that envelope and they were pushing back against the authority back at that time. They really were. It was really kind of an inspiring thing. If you really look at the history of hip hop and how it kind of came, it's really inspiring. So apparently there was a lot of back and forth, and they were doing a lot of dirty stuff, kind of like the crap here on YouTube, right? Where they're just doing underhanded stuff. Well, apparently somebody was broke into, apparently somebody was wearing this necklace, whatever the case may be, still petty stuff, not something that somebody should have lost their life over by any stretch of the imagination. But again, this was a rivalry that was going on in the hip hop industry at the time. And this wasn't the first time Tupac got shot. He had been shot and survived multiple, attempts to take him out. So we were all, I think at the time, I don't know how many remember this, but we were all in disbelief. We almost thought that this was an undercover sting. Like this was like the fourth or fifth time that he had been shot at or tried to be taken out. And so we almost thought that this was all fake. He was going into like witness protection and stuff like that. And then, with the whole Biggie Smalls thing, it almost implied that Biggie was responsible for all of this for a little bit, but it wasn't. And then, we started hearing about like Keefe D and his nephew and things of that nature, but it was just really weird, but nobody knew what to believe because everything was so screwed up. It was just screwed up. And with the fact that and this didn't even really go cold, guys. This is the problem that I have. This case never went cold. They just never made the arrests. Everybody knew. When this was all happening, nobody knew anything. Okay, nobody knew anything. Everything was being hush-hush in the 90s. I think it was all the way up until maybe the early 2000s for people like me and you. Maybe in their groups it was starting to be, leaking fairly early on, but for the rest of the world, we didn't start hearing about names and who could have been responsible for a little minute. And then there was so much shade on it, we didn't know what to believe. Is it true? Are they just trying to pass the buck? Are they setting somebody else up? All these things were coming to our minds and everything like that. But now we're finding out that there has been an arrest almost 3 decades later. But again, the one thing that beats it's hard because I know it's one of those things that I do back the blue and I love. I'm a law and order person, but it's just like, how can you let this happen? And how can you let this happen for so long is my I think my drumbeat. But here's here's a video. Let's just watch it. I'll read this article and then we'll open up the phone lines. I'm not spending a whole lot on Tupac. I know it's a breaking case and everything. This is an amazing, step forward in it. But I, to be honest with you, I don't have a lot to say because nothing I can say about this case is going to be a positive, meaningful conversation because I'm upset with law enforcement. There's a lot of things I'm upset with in this case and have been upset with in this case for many years. I don't see any point in beating a dead horse. I think we all know that law enforcement dropped the ball intentionally. I don't know why they intentionally dropped the ball. When you have people writing books and literally going on stages and bragging about getting away from it and you still don't arrest their asses, that is not a law enforcement problem. I'm sorry. It just is. It just is. For everything that is holy, they just recently raided Keefe D's house. Why wasn't that done 20 years ago? Those are my questions. We knew about Keefe 20 flipping years ago. Again, I'm going to hit it and quit it with Tupac, okay? That's just how I'm going to roll with this case because I've got a lot to say. It's not going to provide anything good to this case. And I just want Tupac to rest in peace and thank God that the people that are responsible for his death are either dead or arrested. That's where I stand on the situation. This should never have happened. This man should have never lost his life. Ever.
I wish you well, but I can't understand this.
Sorry. I hate these commercials, but I can't do anything about them. Everybody got to make their money.
Prior to September 7th of 1996, as we all know, Tupac Shakur was an artist who was signed with Death Row Records. And that Death Row Records and its CEO, Marion Suge Knight, were closely affiliated with the Mob Piru criminal street gangs, and that they had an ongoing feud with the Southside Compton Crips. Duane Davis was the leader and shot caller of the Southside Compton Crips. And both of these gangs operated out of the Southern California area of Compton.
And I think some important things is these were gangs, okay? And that's what I was saying. You know, they're not, these rap crews were not wholesome, you know, I mean, not like all, but, you know, like now, like the rappers out there, to be honest with you, some of them weren't raised, like these people were truly raised in the hood. They had a lot of stuff to describe some of the stuff that they were dealing with. It was an expression of what they were living through and what they were doing and the lifestyles that they lived. That's their expression. And it came across as hip hop and rap. But they were gangs and they functioned like gangs. And now you know why there was shootings going on with these pop stars. I mean, they were pop stars. You don't go thugging when you're millionaires. It just, the stupidity back in the 90s. I think a lot of people that survived it, like Dr. Dre, Ice Cube and stuff like that, you see a major difference in their behaviors and how they handle themselves. They're not in this, they're in a different caliber now. They came from a thug caliber and propelled themselves to people that distanced themselves from that lifestyle and moved forward in a more productive way of, you know, productive person in our society. But back then, I remember this because they all had their cliques. It was thugged out. You know, this was like straight hood stuff. I mean, seriously, straight hood stuff. If you didn't get along with these people, they would pull out gats and just get you, right? Tap you. They didn't care. These were millionaires that would pull out gats and just you're gone. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen. But much like our 90s, right? Much like our 90s.
On the night of September 7th of 1996, Tupac Shakur, along with Suge Knight and members of their entourage, which include members of Mob Piru, came to Vegas to attend the Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Members of the Southside Compton Crips, which included Duane Davis, along with his nephew, Orlando Anderson, were also in attendance at the same event. As both were leaving the fight, members of Death Row Records spotted Orlando Anderson near an elevator bank inside the MGM. And at that time, they began to kick and punch him near that elevator bank. I will now show you hotel security footage, as many of you have already seen, related to this incident. And on this incident, you will see Tupac Shakur, who's wearing a shiny satiny shirt, along with Marion Suge Knight, who's a large man in a brown suit, punching and kicking Orlando Anderson. Following this incident, you'll see hotel security intervene, and then they will leave the area of the fight.
Again, these are people.
Little did anyone know that it is this incident right here that would ultimately lead to the retaliatory shooting and death of Tupac Shakur. Following this incident, Tupac and Suge Knight both left the MGM to make their way to a post-fight party, which was to occur at a local nightclub. At the same time, word had spread amongst members of the Southside Compton Crips of what had occurred inside the MGM. And then that's when Duane Davis began to devise a plan to obtain a firearm and retaliate against Suge Knight and Mr. Shakur for what occurred inside the hotel against Mr. Anderson. After Davis obtained a gun, he entered into a white Cadillac along with Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, and Orlando Anderson. Based on our investigation, this is where we know they were seated. At some point in time, as they were in the white Cadillac, Mr. Davis took the gun that he had obtained and provided it to the passengers in the rear seat of the vehicle. As they were driving west on Flamingo Road near Koval.
This is one thing. Let me see if I can just get this back just ever so slightly. Let me go back 10 seconds. This is the thing. I don't know if you know this, but every single person in this car with Keefe D is now dead. They could have put all these people behind jail at the time because people knew who was in this car. People were talking at this time and nobody was doing a damn thing. And since then, the shooter, Baby Lane, which is the nephew of Keefe D, he was the one that actually pulled the trigger that shot Tupac. Every single other person in that car besides Keefe D is dead. They may not be dead if law enforcement had done their job and put them in jail. I'm sorry. There's not a whole lot that you're going to get that's going to be all warm and fuzzy when it comes to the Tupac Shakur case. I remember crying when he died, okay? And I'm sorry, you guys probably don't expect me to say that, but I loved his songs. He was, you can ask my mother, this was, I was thugging at the time. And I've got to tell you, I cried. When Tupac was killed, I cried. And I kept trying to justify, kept trying to think that he was in, witness protection or something like that. But I love their songs. We all sang to him. We all danced to him. I mean, it was just, it was the times. I mean, if you didn't listen to this music when it was coming out, you were not part of the cool kids. I mean, you just weren't. We all listened to it. We would all go out and hotbox in our car listening to, Too Short, Warren D, Tupac. I mean, Eazy-E was my time too, man. We loved some Eazy-E. So it's not like this could have all been avoided. These people should have been in jail. These three other individuals that were in that car should not be deceased right now because, like Baby Lane, he was murdered. If he was in jail, he may have been murdered in jail for all we know. Life is kind of funny, when it's your time to go, you're going one way or another. It could be a freak accident or it could be something else. But when it's your time, it's your time. So, I mean, maybe it's just his time. Maybe his outcome would have been the same whether he was in jail or out on the streets. I don't know. But it just seems funny that it's like, oh, well, we didn't want to prosecute all four. So we'll just wait until they kill themselves. And then whichever one's left, we'll finally go arrest him and charge him with everything. That's just it. It's just kind of how it appears on its face and it feels. I know that's probably not how it went down. Well, we'll never know how it went down behind law enforcement. They'll never be honest with us as to why it took 30 years for this arrest. They'll never tell us the truth. Okay. I'm just going to be honest with you, but something majorly happened here. I don't know if these people were paid off. I don't know if there's some major corruption and bribery and stuff across, in this area, but this is Las Vegas. It's not like it would be uncommon for us to believe something like that happened, but 30 freaking years, like they literally were just rubbing it in their face, writing books, doing interviews. Hey, yeah, my nephew, yeah, I handed him the gun and everything. Just blatant with it. Just blatant whatsoever to even arrest Keefe D. I think we need to be looking into something a little bit more. I want to know, these are the cases that, and nobody ever wants to pick up the torch and help me fight these type things, but this is the type of things that I really want answers. Why did it take 30 years? Somebody needs to answer that damn question. Because if there was a hindrance in this case, whatever person put that through that wrench in the cog, they need to be held responsible for their part in this too. And I don't care if it was the chief of police or a politician. I don't care. But we have to, who agrees that this was so blatantly disgusting of why Keefe D is in jail right now? Well, what do I mean by blatantly disgusting? I mean that he was out there rubbing everybody's nose into the fact of what they did, and nobody still would arrest him. Nobody. They were untouchable. Why? If you have a problem with that, put a 1 in the chat. If you think that's just, you got it like that, you got it like that. Put a 2 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat. I don't know. So that's really all I've got for the Tupac Shakur case. I really don't want to go into it too much. I mean, I think we all, this case, I think it's touched everybody at some point in their life. Anybody that's been on this planet in the last 100 years. I don't know what to say. Like everybody, you ask my mother, okay? I guarantee if you ask my mother if she knows who Tupac Shakur is, that lady, that beautiful Christian lady that listens to old fogey music would probably tell you, yeah, she knows who Tupac Shakur is. I guarantee you, we probably have a beautiful older lady in here that probably has a bunch of grandkids and great grandkids, probably, I'm sure we have some of you guys up there, right? And I guarantee you, as you're laying in your bed watching this, you're saying, yeah, I know who Tupac is too. You're probably like 89 years old, right? And you know who Tupac Shakur is. So that's what I'm saying. This is something that we've been waiting on for forever. And I'm just thankful that today has come. This is what really upsets me the most about it is Keefe D is going to get the brunt of this when, as you can see, there were 4 people in that car. Those 4 people should have been arrested. They were all responsible for the death of Tupac. I don't care if somebody steals from you. I don't care if they punch you in your face. Once that is done and over with, you can't hunt them down and kill. You just can't. If you have a problem with someone, guys, record it and go to law enforcement. Let them handle it. And this was just so unnecessary. And they took, even today in some of the new releases, they were all of his old stuff that he just never released. They took a lyrical genius off the face of this earth. There's no excuse for that. There's just not. We lost a lot of great creators in this time that were really making their mark on the world. Whether we like the music or how it's evolved over the years or, whatever it may be. We may not like the music, but it doesn't matter. That's the music itself for me is insignificant. It really is because, looking back on it, at the time the music was, we were young. The music's all we cared about. But now looking back, it was really, the mark, the moving of the needle, this whole group not having a voice and then pushing through barriers. And that's what they really did. They pushed through barriers that nobody really understands but the hip hop community and the people that push through those barriers to get us to where we are today. But that was, that, whether we agree with it or not, was amazing. It was a bunch of people that wanted to make a mark on the world, that wanted to have they were sick of, they didn't like the music out there. Okay? Right? What is this? Back in the day, I got to tell you, Christian music bored me. I'll be honest with you. Let me bleed my heart out here on the show. God strike me dead if I'm lying. I hated gospel music. It put me to sleep. I didn't like it. The choir. I mean, I love choirs and stuff like that, but I just was not. You guys know I'm a Christian person. But when I was growing up, I hated Christian music. Hated it. Because it was like this I don't know. It's like it has to be this way. If you're going to be a Christian, you have to sing this way. And it's like even in Christian music, barriers were pushed. We have Christian rap, Christian rock, Christian hop. We have stuff that we can literally listen to and dance to now in Christian music. And those were barriers, much like the barriers of hip hop, that were pushed through. So it was just this whole era of our history. It was good and it was bad. There was a lot of ugly parts to it, but at the end of the day, look where we are today. Had they not made a lot of those sacrifices that they made, we may not be here today. I think it helped a lot with racial issues. It really did. And not only that, but it brought so many people together. Everybody, this was kind of a new creative genre of music, and it brought a lot of people together. It really did. It brought a lot of people together. So it's just, I don't know. This is I think for a lot of people my age, this is a really touchy subject because those that liked Tupac loved him, and those that hated him. But for the normal Joe out there in the world, no matter how much we liked or disliked a person, we didn't want anything to ever happen to them. This should have never erupted to this point. Law enforcement knew that this stuff was going on. Law enforcement, trust me, there could have been, if I went into it, if we could literally go on with the Tupac Shakur case for months about every little thing. I mean, there's so much to this. They knew this stuff was going on. Law enforcement knew about these rivalries. They didn't amp up, extra security. Everybody knew. Okay, let's just not kid ourselves. I love Snoop. You know what? I like Snoop Dogg too, but he was one of those tall, lanky guys back in my, really thin. Yeah, he's kind of grown into his own, but I don't know. It was just something. I wasn't really a Snoop Dogg fan until Martha Stewart, and I'm just like, all right, you got it, Snoop. Okay, right? But I really wasn't a Snoop Dogg fan. I liked his story. They had the whole show. He's such a mellow dude. That's what I heard. And even Dolly, I think Dolly ran into him or something like that. And he said he's told a story similar to that. But everybody that I've known that's personally met Snoop Dogg, I can tell you that's what they say. But he is a stoner. He's just chill. He is just chill. I don't know what else to say, but that man, I don't know how much. I think when he dies and you scrape his lungs, I think we'll have enough weed residue to get the world stoned for probably a solid year. No need to even, kind of gross, I know. You guys get my point. I keep wondering if when Snoop Dogg poops, if he poops out pot plants. I'm sorry. But you know what? I bet you he's got some good stuff. Yeah, that guy is a professional blazer. I bet you he's got some good stuff. So if you guys ever have an opportunity to rub elbows with Snoop Dogg, you do it. And just walk around with him with a dog bag, right? You might get a few nuggets you can take home. I'm just saying. All right, I'm going to stop. But But that's really all I had for the Tupac Shakur. This, I think, really resonates with a lot of people in my audience because, this was just, everybody knew about it. I mean, this stuff, Bones, Thugs and Harmony. They had a concert not too long ago, and I'm telling you, I was so upset. Like, there was just so much creativity. I mean, it was really creativity gone wild. It really, that era of our history was fun. I mean, it really was. That's when I think of life, I think of those times because, like, we all hung out together. Everybody hung out together. It was just peaceful. We might have just been all stoned out of our minds, and that's probably why it was such peace and harmony, amongst everybody. But I got to tell you, we loved listening to this. We loved hotboxing in cars. Yes, I was a major pothead in the 90s. Okay, guys, I was a major pothead in the 90s. I will not lie to you about that. And I did inhale. Okay, I inhaled. Okay, I'm not gonna Clinton my way out of this. I did inhale. All right. Now that's cleared up. Now, if anybody tells me I did that, I'm going to lie. Okay, I'm going to deny it. I'm going to tell them that I did not inhale, and I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I need to stop. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm sorry. My political commentaries needs. My comedy needs a little freshening up. Okay, I get it. Jesus loves me. It's nice to see you. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. It's afternoon here, depending on where you're from. All right, I promised you guys early on that I would only take a few minutes and do my intro, and then I'd open the phone lines up today for you guys. If you guys wanted to talk about some other cases, if you had comments on cases, I'd like to keep it case focused. As many of you know, we are victim driven over here. So I really don't, if we can, I don't mind a little personal, commentary back and forth, whatever, if that's what you choose. But just remember, other people are listening. So when you call in, only provide as much personal information as you want a perfect stranger to know about you. Okay. But other than that, I just wanted to make sure we got the phones open. I haven't talked to my peeps. I want to talk to my peeps. And this is just a cautionary measure. I hope people can adult today. But if you guys can't adult today, if you talk about personal stuff about me, I'm going to hang up on you. Let's just follow the rules if we can. I'm sure I'm going to have an asshole that calls, but I digress. We'll give everybody an opportunity to be an asshole today. We surely will. So if you'd like to call into the show and say, hey, that number is 724-249-6140. 724-249-6140. And I think, let me share this tab so we make sure. There we go. And I think remember when we had the phones open before, I'm like, it's not. Mama Bullhorn, hold on. I don't know why it's not ringing, but it's not ringing in my ear. There we go. Oh, I love it. It's working now. This is the Bullhorn Betty Show. How can I help you?
If I hadn't called off our dinner date, I would be bringing my switch.
Why?
Your language, darling. Your language.
What do you mean my language? My language has been bad today? How's my language been bad today? And I thought my language was good. I don't think I cussed. Have I cussed today? I think I said H-E-L-L, but that was part of the agree on here because I'm talking about cuss words.
Well, it's in the translation. I think I'm lost in the translation. But I can confirm everything you said.
Oh, Mom, I just hung up on you. Oh, my gosh. I was trying. I forgot to turn the thing off, and somebody was calling in, and I forgot to call Oh, hold on, Mommy. I'm calling you back. I'm so sorry. Let's see if we can get...
I had my volume turned off, so I
I
don't
accidentally hung up on you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, right. You
So
did it
you
to
said,
make me lose my train of thought.
no, you were talking
Um,
about the old days, and you said that you were just about to say everything you said was act, and I gave you the act. So it's
exactly. That's what I meant. The old days. I can't believe I'm saying the old days because we had in the big house.
Mom, when you say the big house, they don't realize that was the house, the size of the house we lived in. They'll think that we were jailbirds. I just want to make sure that we clarify this for the audience out there. When she's talking about the big house, that's just our home. She's referring to not our jail cell. Okay, my mom and I, just for the clarifications, I've never been in a jail cell together.
Let me clarify. The big house, which was big, over 3,600 square feet, was our familial home. But when I decided to get out of the abuse, I went to one of my investment homes and I gave everything to your dad in hopes that he would take care of y'all. But we installed a moose system in the big house. And I don't know if anybody knows what a moose system is, but it was the Rolls Royce of intercoms. You could
you could spy on anybody in the house with your intercom system from the motherboard. Okay, let me just explain this to you. We did this 1,000 times. I'm going to interrupt you, keep interrupting you, Mom, because I have a funny feeling she's going to tell you something embarrassing she heard. No, I'm just joking. Okay, keep going.
But anyways, I remember at the time, even though Andrea and her sister shared the room, they had a TV, a phone, a stereo, a Nintendo, a Mario Brothers. But anyway,
Atari. Don't forget the Atari.
Yes. She would go downstairs and put on the moose system downstairs also did in those days tapes, cassette tapes. And she put on Tupac throughout the entire house. It was blasting. And then when I moved into the other house, the smaller house, we call the little house.
Hold on. I'm going to interrupt you real quick. And not just the song. These speakers, just to inform you, were not just interior speakers. So we had like at the doors. So if somebody was at the door, we could talk to them at the door. So when she's talking about this music being blasted everywhere, it was coming out of speakers inside the house and outside the house. Okay, you can continue now.
Yes, and we lived where we lived. It was all doctors, lawyers, and car dealers. We had a car dealer right next door in our backyard, a doctor across the street, 5 doctors down the street.
Don't forget about Mr. Conley, all the way down there in Redwood.
Yes, Mr. Conley was at the end of the street. Yes, Conley Buick. But anyways, when I moved into the little house, I would come home and it would be Tupac, P. Diddy, good Lord, Snoop Dogg. I was really into Snoop Dogg music.
Don't forget Dr. Dre.
I didn't really care for Dr. Dre, but anyways, but.
Do you have a favorite, Mom? I'm just curious. I'm asking for a friend. Do you have a favorite rap artist?
Snoop Dogg or Biggie. Biggie was pretty good.
I did like. You know what I liked? I liked the rendition when Biggie passed away. You know that his wife did every single day, and that was beautiful. I love that song. That was pretty. I
Well,
wish I could play it on here. Maybe one day we'll get this up. I'll take the monetization off and we'll just jam out.
When you said you hated gospel music, I saw your grandfather roll in his grave because he was a gospel songwriter. And your Uncle Ralph, 3 times removed.
Hold on just a second, Mom. And Connie, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was you when I hung up on you. I had just accidentally hung up on my mother, so I was trying to get her back on the phone. So if you want to stick around once I wrap up with Mom, I'll call you back if you'd like to speak. Go ahead,
your
Mom.
Uncle Ralph, my Uncle Ralph, did nothing but gospel and bluegrass. So for those out there that doesn't know who Uncle Ralph is, I'm not going into it because I don't want to sound like I'm strumming a guitar.
Lordy.
We do have family connections out there, and with the same last name, and they're all in music. But anyways, I just thought I'd give you a call and tell you I would be spanking your you-know-what at dinner tonight for your language and your disrespect to your grandfather.
That's what you're talking. I'm sorry. You have to admit that Christian music has come a long way since the 90s. I mean, from the
Oh, what are you talking about? The 50s and 60s. Oh my gosh. The gospel music has nothing to do with the way it used to be. Oh my gosh, it's like dinosaurs and elephants.
Yes. So it's just different breakthrough. But they actually
harmony and
but they actually thought, like with the gospel music, that it was almost sacrilegious for people to enjoy the music. It was just I'm sorry.
Well, your grandfather always, it was very difficult to play because your grandfather always wrote a lot of accidentals. And the other thing is he used what they call accidental. It's a measure that isn't a measure. In other words, you can put it at a measure of like, 3/4 or whatever, but with the accidentals, so many accidentals, it changes the whole structure of the song. And he also taught 2-part, 3-part, 4-part, and 5-part a cappella harmony, which used to drive me crazy because I just wanted out of the music. I just turned it off.
I love music. But see, my music stuff has changed a little bit. Like, because, back in those days, I loved that music, but now, I'm a bitch and a hoe and, need to be just drugged. So, I don't really care for the music, but now I'm kind of more, an old soul type of person. So I like Patsy Cline and, just that type of soulful music.
Well,
Leanne Rimes.
You made me lose my train of thought.
I do that all the time. Don't worry. It'll happen again.
What was I saying? You do it deliberately. I know you do. We were talking about the measures, the harmonies. Oh, I know what it was. I was going to do a relationship between me and you. In the late 60s and early 70s, I was playing Janis on the record player in the bedroom.
Janis Joplin.
Versus you playing
Dixie
Tupac.
Chicks. Well, no, but the Dixie Chicks did a rendition of I'm thinking of Stevie Nicks.
But anyways,
okay.
And my dad just hit.
Oh, listen to this, Mom. I don't mean to interrupt you again, and I'm probably going to lose your chain of thought. Fearless just put in here Cyndi Lauper. Don't tell any stories, Mom. Don't tell any stories.
No, I'm
Cyndi
not.
Lauper.
But the thing is, I'm older than that. I go back to, we won't go before, let's just say before 70. And the music, let me put it this way. My dad had a muscle car, and it was the fastest car in 2 counties. Now, my first car was one of 886 made. It was a Dodge GTX 440 4-barrel dual exhaust.
Mom,
Now,
you're getting my guys in here all hot and bothered.
Well, there were only 886 of them made domestically. It was never changed. It was a domestically made car. It was 69, and that it was nicknamed Ringtail because I had that great big round racing stripe around the rear end of it. And right now, I looked it up. They're going for over $130,000 each because they're kind of like the new Dodge whatever cats, Hellcats. They were only in 1970. I mean, I'm so sorry. In 2010, there were only Hellcats made as a prototype. I'm thinking it was. And
Are you telling us that Grandpa had a Hellcat?
No.
Okay.
I said in 2010.
Okay. I was going to say Hellcat.
70.
Gotcha.
And they were prototypes. And I might have my dates wrong. You will correct me, guys. But mine was 886. And my dad's car was a 67 Dodge Coronet 440 4-barrel dual exhaust. But his best friend, who was the sheriff of Arcadia, sold it to him. And it had a supercharged carburetor. It was one of those that had a special button. So we never used that button. But my car never got more than 8 miles to the gallon. But back then it was 69 cents a gallon.
That's
about $4 a day to go back and forth to work.
But back in them days, I mean, you guys barely made $4 a day at work.
I know. And I got smart.
You guys were just paying for your gas back in them days, huh?
Yeah, that's when I moved to town and became a townie. But,
gotcha.
But I just wanted to do the relationship between me and Janice and you and Tupac. You know.
Tupac Shakur's my boy. What's that noise? That's probably my air conditioning.
I know what I wanted. When you were hotboxing, were you in Biggie's blue?
No,
Cadillac?
We were actually in Angela's car. Remember, Angela didn't smoke, so we got her high.
That little tiny thing?
Yep.
The Metro?
we were able to peer pressure the older sis.
Oh my God. Don't tell her I know.
Oh, I'm sure the whole world knows. If she doesn't know now, I'm sure somebody will be so kind to send her a clip.
Oh, yeah. We won't talk about it, but
yeah, no, you're already over 13 minutes. I got to let you go and open the phone lines up. Love you.
All right, baby. I love you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Connie, if you want to call back, go ahead and call back. Sometimes Mom gets into the cars. You can't. Mom's a carry. I don't know what you call a car person, so I'm going to call her a carry. You guys call food people foodies, so there you go. That's my philosophy. What's that noise? Oh, if you guys hear some noise, I'm turning on and off because the air conditioning comes on and it's feeding through my microphone. So that's what you're hearing in the background is every time my air conditioning comes on, it just ever so slightly comes across the microphone. I'm going to be moving this room probably on the other side of the house because there's I have my ex-husband's old room is so much bigger. I don't want to be on that side of the house. I like everything here. This is where this is where I've lived for the last decade. So I'm thinking actually of taking this and turning this into the second bedroom, and turning the second bedroom into an actual studio, because that's like a 20 by 20 room. And it seems like it'd be much more suited for this stuff. And it's further away from the air conditioning. So you're not going to be hearing the feed of the air conditioning when it turns on, because the air conditioning unit's like literally right there. So that's where it's at. But I haven't made any moves yet. I mean, I've got that's got all my Bernhardt furniture in it. It's got like an $8,000 bedroom set. And I don't even care about that. Like, I want to get rid of it. Like, somebody's going to be very happy, because I'm probably going to put it in the paper for free. It's a king size solid wood Bernhardt bedroom set, but it's too heavy, too big for me. It's too bulky for this little house. And quite frankly, that's the only room that stuff fits in. And I want to turn that into the studio. So there you have it. There you have it. So the phone lines are back open. So the people that would like to call in, 724-249-6140. And right now, just the stuff that we've talked about this morning, just to do a recap for the people that are coming here that haven't been here this morning, as we talked about Layla Santanello, the needs of that family and that case. She's still missing. Something terrible happened. We've opened up the box up a little more to let people inside to understand that there's a little more going on behind this case. Again, this is we're in a little bit of a bind here when it comes to this case, because we know something happened. It's not good, and somebody knows something, and leads are drying up. So with that being all said, we are in great need of getting this message out there, because we need people to know that there's a reward. We need people talking. That's the only thing that's going to break this case open, is the people that, like, she went somewhere. Okay. She didn't just vanish. She didn't just, just implode and turn into particles and poof, she's gone. Something happened to her. We've heard that she was not acting right, that she appeared to be terrified. Does this keep? Why? My ringer is not ringing. Hold on. Let me see if I can hear you. Are you there?
I'm here.
There you are. Hey, Connie, how are you doing, my love?
I'm fine. I'm good.
Oh, wonderful.
I am back in Florida.
Yay! Hold on, let me. There you go. We're glad you're back.
Yes. The day we arrived with my sons and everything, my stepmother fell and broke her hip.
Oh, no.
Nobody to help her. So I flew out the next day, and the boys and the furniture movers put everything back in my house. And I was there for 2 weeks. And the boys had to fly out, of course, and I didn't get to see them go off or nothing. But I am back, and of course, unfortunately, I came home with COVID.
Ugh.
Yes, but anyways, everything is good. Everything is good. House is set back up, and I'm living, it's identical to what it was when I left.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that you didn't have to, because you were trying to sell the place, and if it had sold, you'd have been kind of up the creek without a paddle.
Yeah, I sure would have been. And we didn't have the big yard sale because remember it stormed that weekend.
I remember.
So we put everything in storage. Still have everything I've always had, which turned out great. But, it was just a little too much living there.
Yeah, and not only that, but you're used to Florida. You're all the way on the other side of the country. I mean,
right.
it was just a shock value. You probably had a lot of jet lag. That stuff does not go away right away. When you're changing 3-hour time, it takes a while.
No, and I love my daughter-in-law to death. I really do. But I kind of started getting the feeling that I was nothing but a nanny and a maid.
Right.
Which was sad. So I did get to spend 4 months with my grandson. And my son is getting married next October in California, my other son. So I am going back out for that. Granted it's a year, but that's okay. we still do our video chats every Sunday. You know, I see my grandkids every Sunday on video chat, so it's good.
Nice.
But Tupac, honey, I don't even know if I should get started on Tupac. I was so madly in love with that guy. I would have drank his bathwater if somebody gave me the opportunity.
Oh, my mom would have been in a lot more problems if we were raised on the West Coast instead of the East Coast. That's all I got to say.
Right, exactly. But do you know P. Diddy paid Keefe D $1 million for that hit?
Wow.
And Keefe D is spilling his guts. They are looking for P. Diddy for questioning now.
Ooh.
And supposedly he left the country Friday morning.
Ooh.
Now this is that's alleged.
Right. It's just rumors going around. And that was the problem back in the early 2000s, you know, when this case was still pretty hot at the time. You know, it happened in 96, but it was talked about, you know, early 2000s as well.
Yes. Well, in Keefe D's book, where he admitted everything, he had admitted that P. Diddy paid him that $1 million.
Right.
And you know, that man, the only reason you know, they got the shell casing from one of the bullets that he kept in a tote.
Wow.
As a souvenir.
I just think that's just weird. That's just weird to me. People with these souvenirs when you. Mm-mm.
Right. They raided his house back in July and got all this stuff. So he knew he was going down. Mm-hmm. So he's singing the canary. And not only that, but Keefe D has life-threatening cancer. And there is a chance that he is going to go ahead and let him arrest him. So they have to pay his medical. Mm-hmm. Because they still have to treat him even in prison.
Oh, yeah. Cancer. Yeah, they do.
So, you know, there was ulterior, you know, that's why I think he went so good. And I think that's why since 2018, he's been admitting everything, you know, going on.
But see, this is the problem I have, is that it shouldn't have taken the book. These rumors have been circulating for decades.
Right. But nothing was confirmed. It was all supposed rumors until he wrote his memoir. Mm-hmm. Then he confessed on paper. And, you know, his memoir is supposed to be, you know, the truth.
Right.
So now they had all that evidence. They raided his house in July and found all this stuff that incriminates him. Because they have never had enough evidence to make a charge stick. They've known for a long, long time it was him. But they had no evidence to charge him and make it stick. Now they do. So I think P. Diddy is shaking in his boots right now.
Wow. Yeah, you know, there was, like I said, it was really weird because there was a lot of people that were brought, but see this, even P. Diddy, he was brought up, but there were so many people in the 90s brought up. I can't even remember. I want to say there was at least 10 people that I heard on all different news organizations, from Biggie Smalls to being responsible, to P. Diddy being responsible. You know, just a laundry list of people. And I don't know. And even when Biggie died, they said that was retaliation for Tupac. And I don't think it was.
Well, you know, they had that big fight at the MGM that night because Orlando Anderson had stole Tupac's chain. So they beat him up. And so this was supposed to be in retaliation for that fight. But it actually is coming out. It was, Keefe D was paid off. And he has admitted that he gave the gun to Orlando.
Baby Lane, yeah.
Yep. So he's still going to be charged because he still was, you know, he was the one that was paid off. He's the one that had the gun. He's the one that gave the gun to his nephew to shoot him. So he's definitely guilty in my book. And in my opinion, we're going to see a lot come out about P. Diddy.
Wow, that's gonna be a twist. It's definitely gonna be a twist and turn in this matter.
Now, this is just, my opinion, and I can see, man, I know so much about this case. We could go on forever.
May I ask, without just to give people context, what is your age range?
I just turned 57 on September 19th.
Oh, so you're still a young lady. Okay.
Yes, I am. There's so much life still in me. And I'm so happy, y'all. I have lost 18 pounds on my new diet.
Nice.
My clothes are so baggy on me.
Yeah, over the last month, I've lost about 10 pounds myself, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Spandex, my tight spandex shorts are falling off me. I've lost it mainly and I'm so happy, in my rear end and in my stomach. That's where it needed to go.
Yeah. No, I like my butt having a little jiggle in it. Not my belly. Just not my belly.
I got jiggle, honey. I got jiggle. Oh yeah.
I need to stop. They're going to be clipping this all up today.
Hey, let them have
Baby got back.
Baby got back. That's it, man. Hey, that's what they like nowadays. Is that baby back it up?
Right.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, I just started watching my Gators play.
I have too much fun on here with you ladies. I got to be honest with you.
Hey, my rock garden is orange and blue. My porch is orange and blue. I have my bathroom, which was my husband's bathroom, is all Gator. Yeah, we are diehards here. Mm-hmm. And my daughter goes there to school. So
I gotta say, the only problem with that whole thing is we're Gators. That was the only statement I heard that I didn't agree with. I just want to let you know that.
Now, let's not get fancy. But all right, Betty, I don't want to hold you up all day. I just want to touch base. Go ahead and talk to you since.
Oh, well, it's nice to hear from you, Connie. I hope you have a wonderful day and welcome back to Florida.
Thank you. And hey, we're still going to get together for that drink one day.
We're going to have to. It's getting close.
No, we have to. We're too close. Yeah.
There you go.
So next time I go to Gainesville to see my daughter, I'm going to hit you up because you're not that far.
You got it. All right, love.
All right. Love y'all. Love everybody in the chat and a wonderful day to all the mods.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, we always love hearing from Connie. If you guys don't know Connie's story, Connie had a lot of stuff going on. She's been through quite a lot on here. And so, I'm just really thankful she comes here and she's able to, at least feel welcome somewhere. If you guys don't know her story, she lost her son, she lost her husband, and then she decided to move across the country to be with family. And it was a little rough on her, different element, different everything. So within a few months, she ended up having to come all the way back here. Oh, good Lord, Keith Sweat. Whew. Let's stop. Guys, we talk about true crime here, okay? You guys are wanting to have, it's daytime, guys. Quit trying to steam up the windows already. It's only, jeez Louise. You guys need to go on dates or something. I need to stop. All right, I'm done. We had a lot of fun. It was fun. So I'm just going to get on a couple other little tidbits of information related to some of the things going on. So yesterday, late in the afternoon, I got an email. And this email was of Grady Judd. We don't really cover a lot of Grady Judd, so it's kind of funny that I would be having anything with Grady Judd in it 2 days in a row, because we just don't really talk about Grady Judd a lot. He's a great sheriff, but unless, we know the kinds of stuff he does, you know what I'm saying? So we know he does great work, and occasionally something we'll pick up and bring on the show. But this is a second issue that's going on. But this was the most heartbreaking one, and I'm going to try to figure out how to say this without being too graphic. So yesterday, a little 9-year-old boy was sadly hit and killed on the roadway. That is horrific. we've all had an experience where we're driving down the road and, a kid may jump out in front of us, or we see a ball and we know that there's going to be a kid running after that ball or something like that. This was something totally different than that. And for whatever reason, because of how this is all played out, I believe that there was either substances or alcohol involved in this matter. This person hit this boy. It split his bicycle in half, and he left the scene. A 9-year-old boy laid on the side of the road, deceased. I read about it yesterday. I even watched the press conference that Grady Judd put on about it, and it was sad that somebody could leave the scene. I understand, and this is what I'm going to say. We all make mistakes in our lives, okay? We make horrible mistakes, like maybe getting a little too intoxicated and getting behind the wheel of a vehicle. That is bad enough, okay? Let's be honest. That is bad enough. I'm guilty of doing it myself, right? I don't do it anymore. I don't prescribe to that. I don't. We all make mistakes, and we all have to learn from our mistakes, okay? I'm not ashamed of it. I wish I wouldn't have done it, but it taught me valuable lessons. Took me a second shot, but it taught me a valuable lesson, right? Sometimes some of us are a little more dense than others, right? But thank God, by the grace of God, my shenanigans didn't injure anyone at all. Could it have? I'm sure there could have been times. I mean, there was times I was a messed up individual. We period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So definitely even I could have done some things. Thank God I didn't. Again, by the grace of God, there go I. When you do something that's irresponsible and it injures somebody else, the worst thing you can do is compound that injury. For example, being so stupid to think that you're going to leave the scene of a 9-year-old boy's death and get away with it. Like, it's just not going to happen. You might as well just stop and look like you have, a heart. You're in trouble anyways. Why compound that problem for yourself? Trying to run away shows you're a coward and you don't take responsibility. There has been a lot of things, I talk a lot of times from personal experiences. Is it smart on social media? Probably not, but I don't really care. It is what it is. If people want to use it to club me over the head with it, by all means, be that type of person. I just don't care anymore. But I'm not going to stop from taking my experiences and telling people, because maybe my experience can help somebody else, just like their experience might be able to help me. And I'm not going to let somebody bully me out of that, and I know I've made a lot of mistakes in my personal life. But the one thing I can honestly say is I don't ever think, even in my lowest point, do I ever think I could hurt somebody and drive away. It's just not in my DNA. I don't know what else to express. Many of us, it is just not in our DNA to do something like this. How is it in somebody else's? That is the one thing that I can never understand. It's the one answer that I have been seeking for a really long time, and I'm probably going to be seeking it the rest of my life. And I will go to my grave never understanding it. But for me, even as messed up as I was at a certain point in my life, had I inflicted injury on someone else, I can't see myself driving off. Even as messed up as I am, I can't see myself not getting out and trying to render aid. Like, I just, no matter how much trouble I would get into, that it wouldn't, I don't see that even being in my mind at the moment. Like, I would just see myself freaking out. Oh my gosh, I just hurt somebody. They're bloody. I need to help. Now, I haven't been put in that situation, and I will never be put in that situation again because I don't do those irresponsible things that I did back in my 20s and 30s. I've learned from those experiences. So I'll never have that experience and thank God, right? Thank God. But I pray, and somebody may say, well, you weren't presented with that. You don't know how you would act. That is true because, it's easier saying that I wouldn't do this or I wouldn't do that sitting over here, right? It's always so much easier saying what you would do if you were presented with that same situation, but you don't know how your brain is going to function in that situation. You're not in that situation. People don't understand stresses, anxieties, all these things, these chemicals that flood your brain whenever you're excited. Your brain may act abnormal in that particular circumstance. So you don't really know if that's really the case. If I was presented with that, would I have done that? I would hope that I would never be like that. But again, this didn't happen to me. But Gilbert Almaguer, it's a Spanish name, and I can't pronounce it right, but this is in Fort Meade, and it was a red truck. We knew that there was a red truck that was spotted that had did this damage, that left evidence at the scene that it was the truck that was seen. Let me go ahead and pull this up. The phones are off for anybody that wants to call in. Let me change that back to what it was. There we go. If you guys haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, please do so. So it appears that they did go ahead and make the arrest. According to this report, it says the Polk County Sheriff has located and arrested a man in connection with the deadly hit and run involving a 9-year-old boy, according to the news release. They arrested a 45-year-old man. His name was Gilbert Almaguer. I can't pronounce the name. You guys know I'm horrible with that. It's A-L-M-A, so Alma, and then G-U-E-R. So I'm thinking Almaguer, but I don't know. I feel like there's a roll of an R there somewhere. So I'm sure I'm not pronunciating it completely correctly. Late Friday evening, he has been booked into the Hardy County Jail and was transferred to Polk County Jail later that day. According to the sheriff, the 9-year-old boy was riding his bike to his friend's house around 4:45 p.m. on Friday on Hutchins Road, and he was hit by a Chevrolet Silverado pickup truck. The child was reportedly thrown into the neighbor's yard upon impact. The boy was identified as Andre Martinez, reportedly died on the scene. Judd said the boy's bike was torn in half and left on the road as the truck drove away eastbound from the area. And he even stated how it was beyond comprehension. Anybody could hit another person and not stop and render aid. And I have to tell you that is true. And the reason why I'm talking about alcohol is the only type of person that I can think of that would literally drive off after hurting a 9-year-old child is somebody under the influence of alcohol and too scared they're going to get in trouble, never minding about the child. I can't with these people. I just can't. The 9-year-old was a 4th grade at Lewis Anna Woodbury Elementary in Fort Meade, and the Almaguer red truck was found Friday night. The sheriff's office explained the video posted to the agency's social media shows the video of the truck driving on the road along with 2 photos. We need to know who you may know that drives this red Chevrolet 4-door pickup truck with large tires. So they were looking for this truck early on. Literally right out the gate. Like, this boy was hit. They called law enforcement. Law enforcement, if I recall, I think I read one report that they were on scene within 4 to 6 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. It might be another case that I was covering, but I'm pretty sure it was really quick that they were on scene and were already canvassing the neighborhood for information very, very, very early on in this case. And I think that's what got us the break with that red truck really quickly. We knew about the red truck early on like I said, and hear from.
First tonight, a 9-year-old boy riding his bike in Fort Meade is dead tonight after the Polk County Sheriff says a driver struck that child and then took off. 10 Tampa Bay's Miranda Parnell was on scene with the sheriff when he announced the hunt for the driver of that truck.
And this is the press conference that I heard earlier yesterday. And of course, as you know, it was late yesterday evening, that they found the guy.
Video of the vehicle speeding down Hutchins Road. She joins us now from Polk County tonight with more. Miranda?
Sheriff Grady Judd tells us 9-year-old Andres Martinez was just riding his bike after school to go to a friend's house. Right along this road, that's when a person driving a Chevy pickup truck hit him and just kept on driving. The sheriff tells us the boy was hit so hard that his bike was split in half and thrown into a nearby yard.
He was going to one of his...
And I want you guys to understand, he was hit so hard. We've seen, I know me personally, I've seen, pedestrians in automobile accidents where cars hit them. It's never good. A human being in a big piece of steel, you can imagine it's not good. Most do not survive, but there are a lot that do survive. So I've seen both. I have seen both. I've seen accidents on bikes where the people were taken to the hospital and, tore up pretty good for, and took them a couple years to recover, to seeing fatalities of bikes. But I can tell you so far, out of all of the bicycle fatalities I have seen, and they were adults. I have never seen a child, thank God, by the grace of God, I've never seen any child be hit on a bike, but I have seen adults. And never one time have I seen any of those bicycles ripped in half due to the impact. And these are people that didn't lose their life, and these are people that did lose their life. Now, you know the how metal works, right? So leverage, right? So the bigger an item is, the more leverage you have to bend it on both sides. The closer it is, the smaller it is, the harder it is to maneuver, bend, or break, right? So you're talking about a smaller bike, smaller metal pieces. Those are probably going to be harder to split in half than, say, an adult-sized bicycle. I would presume that an adult-sized bicycle, because of the size of it, would be easier to split in half. Now, I could be wrong about that. That's just how my brain's thinking. I have no scientific evidence to prove this. This is just, I've worked in construction. I've bent pipes before. And I can tell you, it's easier to bend a larger pipe than it is to bend a smaller pipe. That's all I know. Okay. So this child's child bike was split in half. I just want to make sure that you guys get the gravity of that. This guy was probably speeding. I don't even want to know. This poor boy.
Friends to play. And now he's dead. And there's some deranged person that fled from this dying little boy who was thrown into the neighbor's yard. That person fled and is hiding like the coward he is.
Now the sheriff says they need your help to find the person who drives a red Chevy 4-door pickup truck with large tires. He says that truck may also possibly be raised.
It is beyond comprehension that anyone could hit another person with their vehicle and not stop to render aid.
All right, so I'm not going to go through the entire clip there. I think we get the gist of what I'm trying to, tell you. But the good news is the person is behind bars. And thank God, here recently, here in the state of Florida, we've changed some laws here. Because once upon a time, you could, as long as you left the scene and you weren't behind the vehicle, behind the steering wheel of the vehicle at the time, you could not be charged with DUI or vehicular homicide due to driving under the influence. We've changed that to say, if you leave the scene of a crime, of a fatality, you're going to be charged as if you were drinking. and committed that crime. So here in Florida, whether you shouldn't drive away, especially if you are not under the influence of alcohol, because if somebody dies and you drive away because you're scared, you're going to be charged here in the state of Florida as if you were driving under the influence of alcohol and a fatality resulted because of it. I think that everybody should be making sure laws like that are put in place in their states. Because if our prior laws would have been in place, this man here would be charged most likely with an accident that resulted in a fatality. A very minor charge compared to what he really did. All right. Now, here is the last case. I know we're going over our time. We usually try to keep these things down to 2 hours, but I haven't been here. There's been a lot of stuff going on. We haven't really been true criming like we used to. We like staying focused on the cases, stay focused on the facts, and talk about true crime. But the problem is now that I'm looking at all these things, I'm trying to develop stories that I think that will interest my audience. And I got to be honest with you, it's a lot. Like, I had so much, like, we're wrapping on hour 2. Like, we're at the end of hour 2, right? And I'm barely through this stuff. Listen to this. And I didn't even put up not even half the stuff that I have been researching. Not even half. And we have so much stuff, disgusting stuff going all over this country. This next story got some twists and turns to it. And I truly believe. Sorry, I hate those commercials. I truly believe that this one here is not going to end good. This one is already having some knots in my stomach. Something happened to this young lady. I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of history on this. So I was doing some research on, just some crime cases, looking into some cases that I think would be interesting. And that, one of the things is, it's not, sometimes we just commentate on a case. We're not going to be providing any type of help to the case. We're just reporting on the case, providing you guys information, keeping you up to date. Nothing, too major. Then there are cases we dive into a little bit more. This case here is one that I did not hear about, that I was just researching, just trying to find out if anything hit all of the factors that I choose that meet my needs for this show. One of the first things is I want to anything that we can help with is one of those things that would come to the top. If it's like, if I have a story that's popular but is just being commentated on versus a case that that meets all my points, my personal points, and I want to do a little bit more on, those are the cases that are impactful to me. This one I started working on a day or so ago, and the reason why this one came up today is because I truly believe that this is not a girl that ran away. This girl went missing here recently, but what really causes great concern for this particular case is the fact that she was a witness in a homicide, in a capital case. She was supposed to, in the next few days prior to her disappearance, be, she's a witness in this case and she's got to testify. Well, according to these articles, she got into a van and she's never been seen or heard from again. When this first started coming out, I thought maybe, because she's, a dancer, and I figured maybe she didn't want to get involved in criminal cases. Maybe she just wants to get under the radar. She wants to lay low until this all blows over so she doesn't get into anything. Because when you're out in this kind of lifestyle, you have to deal with a certain element of people, and you do not want to be known as a snitch. You just don't want to be known as that. So there are some, we all know that there's, street stuff that goes on. And so at first when I was hearing about this, I was thinking that maybe she just didn't want to get involved. There's street stuff going on here and she just needs to lay low. But now I'm starting to feel that this is a little more involved in this. Maybe this is a flip side of this. Maybe she isn't laying low. Maybe they took her out so she couldn't talk. She was the primary witness in a case. And that's where we're at right now. And this is the missing woman right here. So I just want you guys to hear what's going on in this matter so you guys can be up to date on it. Just give it a second and the commercial will go away. We just got about 30 seconds of this. But can you guys hear that? Okay.
Tonight, new details on the missing Houston woman who was last seen getting into a van outside of the bikini bar where she worked as a dancer. Court documents now show that Deandrea Ford, she was a key witness in a capital murder case. Fox 26's Sherman DeSalle joining us live now from the newsroom to break this case down for us. Sherman.
Yeah, it's a lot of information. As tonight, police have no new details on Deandrea's whereabouts. But our newsroom has managed to find out that the 21-year-old was a witness in a shooting in May that left one man dead. 4 people were arrested in this case, including a former Harris County detention officer. Court documents state that on May 10th, Deandrea Ford and 21-year-old Kitiana Taylor traveled to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to work as dancers and prostitutes for clients brought to them by 35-year-old Otis Parker. Parker was driving Taylor and Ford home from Louisiana with the cash the women made there, according to documents. Police say text messages from Taylor indicate she was planning a setup to rob Parker of at least $1,500 in cash when they arrived at an apartment complex on Selinsky Road early that morning. Parker was shot and killed. 22-year-old Jamal Brown, also known as Bam, was listed as the shooter, and 22-year-old Jarrell Wheeler was listed as an accomplice, along with Kitiana Taylor and 20-year-old Mariah Green. Jamal Brown was killed a month later in a shootout with police. He had been on the run from the capital murder charge. The 3 other suspects, including Jarrell Wheeler, a former Harris County detention officer, remains in jail. Now, whether or not the shooting in May is
So as you guys know, I mean, this is a serious situation, and there was already one bad dude that had a shootout with the cops and lost his life because of it. So she's wrapped up into some bad stuff with some bad people, and she gets into a van and just disappears. So this is in Houston, Texas, guys. If you guys know anything about her, pass this around, because she could be in grave danger, like grave danger. And I believe she may have met that fate because nobody's seen her. None of her friends, none of her family. She is gone. She is gone. And hearing this story, and she's so beautiful too. She's beautiful. She's young, dumb. These poor babies. I don't.
The local mother has been missing for nearly a week. Tonight, police and family members continue the search for Deandrea Ford, whom you see here. Investigators say that she was last seen at Diva's Bikini Bar and Grill, where she works in East Houston. KPRC2's Candace Burns spoke to her family this evening, and she joins us live now from HPD headquarters. Candace.
Keefe, 21-year-old Deandrea Ford has been missing for 5 days. Her family has tried everything that they can think of to find her, and tonight they believe she's in danger.
I feel like something's wrong.
Bridget Carrier, grandmother of Deandrea Ford, says it's unlike her granddaughter to disappear for days.
It's too many days.
Deandrea is the mother of a 4-year-old boy.
She'll call every day and talk to him if she's not here.
Investigators say she's 5'4" and weighs about 170 pounds. She was last seen last Thursday, September 21st, in a black tank top and tan pants, leaving the establishment where her family says she had been working for about 2 weeks.
To our knowledge, no one had spoken with her, so we all began a tedious process of trying to get in contact with her. No one had any success. Her phone was going directly to voicemail.
Her uncle, Kevin Carrier, says there is video of his niece leaving the club.
We were able to retrieve surveillance video of her leaving in a white van with someone. The individual we don't know.
He said. Now, I just want to let you know, I mean, you know, and what almost breaks my heart about this is we hear the same thing, the same drumbeat from all these families when their family members are missing. You know, they jump into action and they start, you know, trying to find out their whereabouts, pulling, you know, videos. I think this is it's beginning. It's heartbreaking to me that families even know where to begin. But we have so much crime going on throughout this country that you can just turn on any social media and start collecting stuff, you know, for your case. It's just I just can't. And I feel so bad because you're hearing all of the things that their families are doing. And we heard this in Kaylee Gonzalez's family, you know, as well, just getting on the horn, just hitting the streets, you know, shoe leather detectives that these families have to become because they're, you know, some of these cases aren't being, well, the Idaho 4 was obviously being taken seriously. That was really brutal. But even this young lady, you know, these things, every second matters. Every second. And days went by without any investigation before something happened. It's just, I don't know. It's just sad.
He says the video is considered sensitive to the investigation and police are following leads from it to find Deandrea.
If someone is holding her against her will, please know that law enforcement is on the trail.
The family is extremely worried.
I have a gut feeling is that something is not right.
They want Deandrea back with them safe.
I'm praying and I'm hoping that they bring her home.
Police are asking.
Again, so we're just taking a few moments of our time to give back. This is a young lady that I truly feel is in danger. I truly feel that we need to be, if I have, you know, our coffee club members, if you guys are in the Houston area and the Texas area, be sharing this around, be getting in those chat rooms, be doing your thing, helping this case, getting this person's name out there, getting her face out there, hitting those pavements, having people, you know, get you some information, get that information over to law enforcement, anything related to her whereabouts. She was obviously taken. Now, that doesn't mean anything. You know, she could have, again, this could be something where she just doesn't want to get involved in this case. She doesn't want to be the snitch. You know, she's in that type of lifestyle that this could cause her some problems, you know? So it could be one of two things. She should be okay, but guys, she could not, and she needs our help. So if we can just if somebody knows her and you can contact her and just let her family know she's okay. Or, you know, start getting those messages to her family if she's on the run and doesn't want to go to the court hearing. If something bad happened to her and you know who she is, or you know who she was around, or you know who was in that van, please pick up the phone, do the right thing. Don't let your voice go unheard. Right now, she doesn't have a voice. You are her voice. So step up to the plate and do the right thing. Anybody that has any information about the whereabouts, please reach out to law enforcement. Again, she was a witness in a homicide, a capital crime. There was already a shootout, and one of the suspects has already been killed as a result. So this is definitely something that gets me a little concerned. We have a lot more to go on, but we're reaching our top of our 2 hours, guys. I love you. God bless you. We will cover this case more in depth tomorrow. I'm glad you guys got an opportunity to call in. We will open up the phone lines a little earlier tomorrow as well. Please come back here tomorrow, guys. I hope you had a good and an enjoyable experience. And if you have not signed up or subbed up, please consider doing so. God bless each and every one of you. Until next time, be safe and kind to one another, especially in the comment box below. We say no to online bullying. We say no. No to online bullying, and that means in the comment section below. God bless.